Okay, so Mark here from Rock and Load. This evening we are at Voodoo Belfast for Bloodstock Metal of the Masters 2022 final, and we are here tonight with Divides Unfold. How are you boys doing?
All good. Yeah, we're all good so far, thank you.
Surreal experience so far. We've well, you've played, is it 2 heats and this the final?
Yep.
So like literally 3 gigs get you to the final.
That's it. Yeah, thankfully, because we haven't played much else, to be honest. So this is all fun since we came back. So it's been great.
It's a bit of a reality check again, getting back into the live scene, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Fucking amazing.
It seems more scary than before, but
yeah,
there's a lot of really good bands coming out of lockdown.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I've noticed as well. The competition this year has been a lot tougher than previous years. The quality's been really, really good, hasn't it?
There's a lot of great bands tonight. I'm looking forward to watching the rest of the bands. There's a lot of really cool acts there tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to call. It always is, and I'm grateful that somebody else has the responsibility to actually make that happen for a change, you know, because it's going to be a tough one to try and get through for sure. So tell me, last time we spoke to you, was that 2019?
I think so, yeah. Probably was.
It's been a couple of years, obviously the pandemic fucked things up for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
How was your pandemic experience?
Not great. I mean, most of us still had to work, I think, but as far as the band's concerned, we tried to behave ourselves and not do a lot of rehearsing and things. So I mean, it hasn't been even that long since we've really sort of been back together. Yeah,
because again, people couldn't really hang out, you couldn't do those things really.
So we're playing catch up now. We've a new album to record, and we're waiting for that to surface and get the studio time. So it's all starting to come together now. So next month we're going to hit the studio and record a new album.
And for anybody unfamiliar with yourselves, like, how would you describe your particular brand of music?
Oh, you've hit the hotbed question, shit.
Heavy rock, virgin on metal, I'd say, you know, that'd be what I'd say.
We're like, if you mix Tool with a grunge band, that's sort of where we sit. We're like Alter Bridge, but not.
Yeah.
I know, I can't scream. I do try, but I can't.
The guttural things that you can't do that, no?
I can't do it. I've tried, and they're like, no, the guys are like, no, don't do that.
Only if you took them.
Letting the side down.
Yeah, definitely.
And you just mentioned there, so you have new music coming. Is this the debut album then?
Yep. Yeah, obviously the first one was the EP. This will be the first full album for ourselves.
And is it new music? Is there stuff from the EP on it?
No,
nothing from the EP.
Nothing from the old EP. No, we have a couple of tracks that we have played before, sort of pre-lockdown, but most of it's still going to be all new.
Yeah. And the competition then, how have you found it this time round? I've watching you guys, you seem very comfortable. You just seem to have an air of confidence and maybe a self-assurance about what you're doing, and maybe you just all bullshit.
We just fucking love it, man. Yeah, it's all bullshit.
It's all about to do what you like. Like you go on stage, you be like, I like to do it. You don't think too much about doing it. You just do it. It becomes natural somehow.
We've took a lot of acting lessons. Yeah, makes it look like we know what we're doing. So.
All those extras NI gigs.
I think it's just there's a big buzz of everybody wanting to get out and play.
Yeah.
There seems to be more people involved, and it's just I think people have realised possibly what they've missed the last couple of years not going out.
Yeah.
And it's just the whole scene seems to just exploded since we came back.
Yeah, and how have you found the competition, and how have you found the experience of is there pressure doing it as a competition, or are you just basically just enjoying the...
We don't really let it phase us, to be honest. We come in and we just love this these set of gigs. It's like a highlight of the calendar for Belfast. I think every metal fan here says the same thing, right? This is the period we look forward to.
I think we know it's like a metal competition. There's a lot of really heavy metal bands, screaming bands, and we're not really that way. So we just use it as, just want to play well, meet new people, get more fans hopefully. So we're just using it for that plateau. You know, we're under no illusion. You know, we gain more followers, gain more fans, let more people, new people see us that maybe wouldn't have seen us before. Yeah. And that's the way we're viewing it. We're not really sort of going into it saying competition-wise, you know.
I just want a free ticket for Madison, to be honest.
yeah, the Madison guys are class.
Yeah, another band who progressed really well over the past couple of years.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I get on well with Freddie, and we met him before, and we've just progressed from there. And they're a great band. I love them, Madison.
Yeah. And what about yourselves? And how have you? Did you hone in on the sound? Like you guys were, I think, when you hit the scene back, you did have a sort of very definite sound to you. Still there today, but I think it's a little bit more polished. Have you just sort of focused in on that and tried to keep that cohesive?
I'm not sure we've made a conscious decision to really hone in on it. I mean, obviously we're playing more, we get more used to each other, we get more comfortable with what we're doing. We can read each other quite well. I think the more we do that, the more cohesive it possibly sounds in that way. You know, we have like swapped about things we do try different things, amp sounds, all sorts of stuff like every other band.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is sort of this like hard rock with little, I don't know, modern metal edge to it. It's just what we enjoy playing.
Yeah.
You know, that's the bottom line. You know.
Yeah, yeah. And what are we in for tonight then? Like just balls out from the start?
Good half hour of flat out tunes.
Yeah. It's the only way to go.
All fucking flying. We're gonna go with all the energy we can. We'll get you buzzing, man.
Will you be sober by the time the announcement's made later
Absolutely fucking not.
Yeah, we always have 3 gig shots as well, get us in the mood, so you know.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's like if you want to get the crowd buzzing, you got to be buzzing yourself. So you know, get in the mood
I want to
ourselves,
see you
get
fucking
everyone going
screaming in the
with
front
us.
man whenever we start. You gotta be our #1 supporter.
I'll try my best. I sound like a little girl, you know. So
That's fine. So do I. So do I. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's all right.
And you were just talking about the new album then. So when is that going to arrive?
We're hoping that summer. Or if everything goes to plan, you know what it's like trying to get everything in line. But our aim would be to have it done by summer. We had aimed to have it done by now, obviously, but then obviously pandemic hit. So with the tunes ready to go, we've got the studio ready to go. It's just getting the final bits in line, getting everyone's time together, and all fires going from there. Really, you know.
It's sometimes hard to get these things aligned, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. So
Yeah, we wanted to use the last guy, the producer, guy Ross Cullen. He produced our last EP, and I've known Ross for over 20 years. He gets what we do. He gets the sound.
Yeah.
So he's been building a new studio and a new home out somewhere in Maybe somewhere. So we're sort of waiting until he gets that all set up as well.
At JR Audio, is it? No.
No, he was Railway Studios
Railway
in Lisburn
Studios.
back in the day. So now he's finally ready to go. So hopefully next month, hopefully we are.
Very good. Well, look, I'm going to keep it short and sweet tonight, guys, because I know I've got a lot of people to get through.
Yeah.
And you guys need to sort of get your head in the game. Best of luck, obviously, for tonight. You know, best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Rooting for you. What do you got coming up next? You got a couple of guys lined up, though, don't you?
yeah,
Coming up afterwards.
3rd of June we're going Stop with Delusional Silence, and then the night after that we're up in Hawkle in the Mighty Diamond Rock Club, a beast of a place, and playing there with Big Baleful Creed. So really,
a couple things on the go.
Yep.
How have you found for example, just a bit of progression with the band, building an audience, building a fan base? Are you seeing things, momentum happening?
Yeah, thankfully, absolutely, yeah. We were a bit worried, weren't we? We were a bit worried coming back, and maybe the fan base might have like disappeared a little bit, but it seems to be stronger than ever.
Everybody's coming out, they're turning out.
fantastic.
We're making a bit more of a conscious effort on social media, really starting to just kick things up a gear.
I think you have to, unfortunately. You know, if you rest in your laurels, then you know you'll suffer for it. So you have to keep yourself busy that way.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, look, again, final words. Best of luck, guys. Enjoying you.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to your performance.
Thank you very much.
Catch you on the other side.
Cheers, Mark.
Thanks. Okay. So Mark here from Rock and Load. Today, gents, with the guys from Blurred Reality, all the way from County Armagh. Not really, it's fucking Lurgan. County Armagh, though. Cameron.
Craig.
Cameron. Glory.
Yeah.
We got it.
Keep
Got
that
there.
in.
Fuck's sake. Get it in there.
That's a keeper.
How are you boys keeping?
We'll go one at a time, or
I know, how do you work these formats?
No.
BB's first interview.
We're doing well, I think.
Yeah, a bit nervous for tonight, but apart from that, spirits are good. So.
And how's your overall experience been of Metal the Mass? This is your first attempt, isn't it?
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. No, it's great. It's been good, like, it's been great.
Yeah, been amazing. As you said, it's our first attempt. It's kind of really been our first sort of time in Belfast. We've played maybe once or twice, but you know it's usually been sort of like local gigs. So this is like the first time we've actually got our name in the sort of like Belfast scene. So it's been amazing. Like.
And what have you made of the competition, the bands in it? Like I think this year is actually quite a really strong one.
Yeah, there's been some great talent throughout, and there's a lot of great bands that didn't make it through.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that even if the bands that didn't go through, that they're at least getting some kind of exposure, because that's the good thing about the random running order is that you could be playing the 20 people, you could be playing the 100 people. So it's good in that way for different bands to get that experience. I know we haven't played a crowd that big properly. So it was a big thing for us, and I'd say it's a big thing for any band, especially as young as us.
This final, I think, it's close. Like, all the bands are just
going to be tough.
good.
It is going to be a tough meet. And the thing about it is, obviously, Simon Hall from Bloodstock is the man making the decision. So whereas before it was public vote and it was judges, now it's down to one guy.
One singular guy. Yeah.
So it's going to be really tough because have you ever been to Bloodstock?
Never.
No.
I've covered the last couple of ones there. So the New Blood Stage, it's such a mix of genres. You know, initially people would always say it was all death metal, black metal type stuff. It's not. You'll get everything from blues, rock, right through. You know,
Okay.
it's good. So there's a bit of everything. In that
Yeah, it's good to have that variety because then there's something for everyone. You know?
Absolutely, you know, and so it really is an opportunity for any up and coming band to make great exposure. You know.
Yeah. I know, it's a great opportunity. We've been looking at this for a few years now.
Yeah.
Whole metal
Yeah.
master stuff, never had the opportunity to do it now.
Oh, because
this
COVID
year's
and
just
stuff,
like-
and then
Do you remember COVID?
Yeah.
That was great bands.
That was good fun. Like.
So tell me, like, when did you guys form?
Oh, that's a story and a half.
You can start with this.
You go first,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can start that.
Well, me and Rory went to school together, and we'd sort of become friends. We went to a music program called Beginner the Band, and we signed up to that, and we kind of started working together, and then we became friends and stuff. But we weren't really like a band. We were kind of like missing that that final piece of the puzzle.
Still waiting on it.
Still waiting on it, yeah.
Very much still waiting.
But so it was about summer 2019, and we just put an ad out being like, oh, we'd like a bassist and a singer.
Well, we only needed a bassist.
Yeah.
Well, that's very true.
Yeah.
At the
Were you
time,
guys singing? Were you warbling?
I was singing.
he was singing.
Probably for the best, actually.
But we kind of thought, we'll probably not get anyone because, you know, we're nobodies from Lurgan, you know, the chances of us finding someone very slim. And within a couple of hours, this guy.
On my side of it, of course, you were thinking, no, there's nobody in Lurgan wants to do it. And on my end of it, it was like, holy shit, there's a band from Lurgan that likes all the same bands as me that wants a bass player. I don't own a bass, but let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
And it
You
was
weren't even
basically...
playing bass at that stage?
I'd played bass a few times and I thought, it's easy. And then I joined the band and was like, this is not easy at all.
Still
yeah.
can't play it. Like.
And then shortly after, it was when I started singing.
Oh, you weren't even singing either?
Well, like, I was singing beforehand, but I decided...
Jesus, why'd you take him on? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I've been singing, I've been doing a lot of busking, so I've been developing my sort of singing, and we just decided to try it one day, and we went with it.
It was a weird one though, because when Craig first messaged us, I instantly knew who it was because I had seen you.
You were at
a couple
my
months
first ever
earlier at
gig.
his first ever gig, watching him singing and playing. So I was like,
Fucking
he
car
can play, I
crash,
know he
car
can play. Yeah, I was telling him, I was like, don't do it.
My favourite part of the story, though, and I always have to tell it, is so we decided to meet up. Me and Rory decided to meet up with Craig, and we met him outside Lurgan Tesco car park.
Which is where I used to busk, so I had been busking that day, and I was going to meet yous
Afterwards, and I remember we were standing waiting on him, and we could see him walking across the street. And he had his guitar, and he started playing Blackened by Metallica. Auditioning on Tesco car park. Metallica's my favourite band. I'd never seen anyone do that to him. And we were kind of like roughly talking, oh, I'll see you guys in a minute, that sort of thing. I just turned to Rory, straight away, he's in the band.
So I had to go and get a meal deal.
He's the guy.
And so when was that?
Around June 2019.
2019, so you're relatively fresh, and that's obviously, literally, you had 12 months of it before the pandemic kicked in, and
Yeah.
robbed you of your...
Because that was the thing, like when we started to get gigs like regularly and sort of being like, okay, right, this is going to become a common thing, then COVID happened, and then it was like,
It's like someone came and smacked us in the face.
yeah, it was like, right, what do we do now? But I feel like the time that we had, like, off, you know, during COVID, not playing gigs, I feel like we did make the most of it.
Yeah.
Because we went and got music recorded, we went and got merch, you know, made and stuff like that. We kept ourselves as busy as possible without playing gigs.
Yeah. And so what have you got actually out at the moment that people could look up?
We have an EP called Molting, which came out almost a year ago. On the 20th of this month, it'll be a year, and we have a brand new single called Ember, which just came out 2 weeks ago today, I think. So that's all on Spotify.
And did you guys hit the ground running thinking original material, or did you start off with a cover band or anything?
Oh no, definitely original.
Definitely
Yeah.
originals, like,
We used to like in some covers and stuff just to fill up the set, but once we got enough material, you know, for a set,
Yeah, we still play covers now and again, but for the most part, it's all our own material. It's not like there's any one dedicated songwriter. All three of us do contribute to putting the songs together.
No, I read them all.
or so you wish.
And like, how would you guys describe your sound?
See, that's the thing. See, a lot of people ask us that, and I think the only definite answer is just we're metal, because, you know, if you like thrash, then we have our thrash elements. If you like, you know, groove, we have our groove elements. You know, if you like your sort of like metalcore, like Trivium, Killswitch Engage sound, we have that as well. So there's a bit of blend.
All of it in one song.
Pretty much, yeah. Literally.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So
Whatever comes off our domes.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's just like It's not. I don't even know. I was trying to say something really clever there, but I can't describe it. We're indescribable. That's how I would describe our sound.
It's come through us.
Do you think you have a sound nailed at the moment, or are you still evolving? No?
I don't think we have, because maybe I'm a bit biased, but I feel like every song sounds slightly, like it sounds different. Every song.
Every song, I would like to say, has its own kind of flavour, but it's at the same time, it's definitively blurred reality.
I don't
you know what I
think
mean?
we'll ever nail a sound.
Yeah.
It's just like I could tell as time goes on, as new music comes out, and you realise that it just does change. It's always changing. So
the three of us listen to so many. Sorry, I cut you off there. Do you mind if I go ahead? The three of us listen to so many different artists individually. Like, there's a lot of metal artists that we kind of connect with, but there's lots of also non-metal artists. Like, you love the Beatles and Queen. I love like Pink Floyd. You like your hip hop and stuff. You know what I mean?
You look like a hip hop artist now.
So pretty much if we come up with a song, we don't really think of what kind of bracket does this fit into? What's the tone here? It's literally okay. Here's the start of a song. Let's finish it. Basically,
one question: does it sound good? Yeah,
pretty much.
It's not for us to say.
Well, yeah,
that's true. No, I was pretty much just gonna say what Craig was saying, but even at that, like even within metal, I feel like all three of us have. You're more sort of like the metalcore prog sort of side of metal. I'm like your thrash guy, and then you like more sort of like groove sort of stuff that has that sort of like element of.
I like doing this.
Yeah. What about the set tonight then? Is it, if you're trying to pick a collection of songs to make a real impact for a set, especially for a final, have you got something?
Well, for our thinking was that we had our two sets from the heats and the semi-final, which were different. The only two songs that we played at every show was our first two singles, The End of Attrition and Lost at Sea. Those
like
every single gig we played, they're in the
staples.
set. We have another one that we played at the semi-finals, which is an unreleased song called Archetype, which we're trying to do a bit of crowd involvement with. It's slap bang in the middle, and we're starting off with our brand new single. And also there's a song called Constant Misfortune, which is just good for getting people going, getting people ready to
it's
knock
like
each
three
other
songs
out.
in one.
Yeah.
I think one of our biggest tactics for playing gigs, especially like here, is just to get crowd going, just to get energy.
Get the reaction from them, by getting buying ideas.
We like seeing people enjoying themselves,
Yeah.
It's kind of our main.
As I say, like you guys have mostly been playing outside Belfast, so how do you find the crowds here?
So much better.
So much better. For a start, there's actually crowds here. But not only that, then another thing about what's amazing about Meltdown Masses is that you just introduce so many people to our sort of the following that we've got before we started and now has went up, massively.
And it's a fantastic way to network with all the other artists, in the local scene here in Belfast. So
because you can bounce off each other, share gigs, share lineups and stuff like that.
It's a good hub.
It's a good hub.
To go to, different bands and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, look, guys, I'll leave it there because keeping it short and sweet tonight. But look, best of luck.
Yeah,
again, I've thought you guys were one of the sort of undiscovered gems of the competition.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Great to find a new bit of blood within it, So, best of luck. Let's see how chips fall later on. And once again, blurred reality.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Okay, thanks, guys. Show Mark here again from Rock and Load. We're back at Voodoo Belfast, and tonight we are joined by the lads from the Madison. How are you guys doing?
Good.
So, like the last time we probably spoke, was that 2018, 2019? I can't remember when that was. 2019. Yeah. Slight lineup change.
Oh yeah.
You guys have progressed on, moved on a few things. A couple of years older and wiser as well.
That's it.
Is that possible?
You can say that.
Yeah. How have you found the competition this time round? Have you been more prepared for it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. It doesn't seem as strange now.
Yeah.
To come back in and do this. Like before, it was all just our first gigs.
Yeah.
So now we've had gigs between then and then. Lockdown happened but we're more comfortable doing gigs, and this competition just feels normal now.
Yeah, because obviously I was talking to Blurred Reality there just before you, and for them that's their first run at it, so you guys are old hands now almost,
We had the experience of going once, and it went well last time as well.
So like that gives you confidence coming into the second time, and obviously the pandemic fucked things up for everybody, so everybody's sort of starting off in the same spot again, as far as trying to establish themselves, trying to feel comfortable playing again.
It was still like 2 years gap, for everybody, like since last time we played live as well.
Yeah.
And it's always strange feeling at first.
Yeah.
But I think we're way more prepared this time.
Yeah.
Like not like blind. We're going.
Well, that's it. It was almost like a bit of naivety going into the first time. You guys just sort of charged in, you know, like raging bulls. But
First gig.
it worked.
First gig was Metal to the Masses, and for this lineup, the first gig was Metal to the Masses again. But over lockdown, we're just like a caged animal, just like, let's do this, like, you know, now is the time.
I can only imagine, like, you know, it'd be so frustrating because you're probably working on new material, you have stuff to put out there, stuff you want to play live, but just can't do it, you know?
Has to be timed well.
Yeah, exactly. And that was a killer. Like, I talked to a lot of musicians. The idea of releasing music during that time wasn't worth it. You couldn't play it, you couldn't promote it, you know?
It's going out into the void.
Just goes out and within a week or two it's dead, it's gone, it's lost.
You need live shows in the back of a release, unless you're Metallica or something, you know.
So you guys do have new music coming. What's on the way?
First album, which has been ready for a while now. We have been putting it back, and obviously Brett joined in September, and we had like the drums ready to go, but you know we have to re-record them again. Which is perfect now for this time.
Just waiting for it all to line up. And And what's the album called now?
Axis Primordial. That's going to be the name of the album.
And how many tracks are we looking?
9, yeah. 9 tracks.
And what do you think then, guys, regarding your sound? Obviously, a couple of years further down the line now. Have you got a real cohesive sound, you think, for yourselves?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I feel like we know what we're after now. You know, a lot of people before were saying we sounded like this band or that band, and like it's cool to have those. Oh, you guys sound like such and such, but we're really just trying to find that your own sound is actually quite difficult. But I think the live shows help with that. Right, like.
I mean, there's still some bands that we have always influences from, but we try to get in the middle there and get our own kind of sound going.
You say the live side of things, it is a massive education, isn't it? As a band, because you obviously there's so many challenges you have to come over. Sometimes you'll be throwing a curveball at a live gig. You can plan as much as you want, but you have to still go and do it, nail it, get it done.
I know. It's always different. Every gig is always different.
You're not playing to your own crowd on a night like this as well, so you're going to have a real mixture of people and trying to win those guys over, trying to make an impression.
That's all we do is we just try to play as tight as we can and do our thing, our riffs, and it's all about the music as well.
And what about a choice of set then? How do you pick the songs for something like this? It's so important to get the set right. Is it a tough decision to make, or you deliberating about it much?
It's tailored to the night, but just tonight's different from the semi-final,
Mixing it up again.
Absolutely.
So we try to play a bit different from the last 2 hits. But we don't have that many songs to choose from, and then we try to do the transitions as well. Like it has to flow. That's a very important thing.
It is, because again, I've watched obviously all the heats, and sometimes you stand back and you can see a set from certain bands, and you go, not really the right choices. When you're watching another band, you think, either they're too chill, too relaxed. You've got bands who are fucking going mental and making a real impact, and then somebody comes up and tries to fast song, slow song, or whatever, and it's like, I don't think that would be the right sort of choice for a high impact 5 songs. You want to make sure you want to have a crowd, so
you've got half an hour, so
you've got
to max it out.
Absolutely.
We're big supporters of the local metal scene, so we've watched a lot of bands, and we like to think we know how to make it flow well. Because Dead Space is a killer.
It is, absolutely. And as you say, like 30 minutes to make an impact and to win a competition. So it's never going to be as important as on a night like this here for anybody, And lots of practicing being done, lots of rehearsals.
That's like
as much as possible.
that's what we do the most with our lives here. It's just
sick to death of hearing the same songs, I'm sure.
I know, but like at the same time you're not, because you know obviously you want to enjoy it.
Yeah, different when you're playing it in front of a crowd, though, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
The feel brand new again, even for 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's it.
Then you get back to practice room and it's not a good thing.
Well, look, I'm keeping it short and sweet tonight, guys, because I know you all have to get your head in the fucking game. So, thanks again. Looking forward to the album. Make sure, obviously, when are we hoping that might drop?
I know we were thinking maybe summertime. Because we want to do the whole CDs and vinyl.
Yeah,
and
it's hard to get.
I think there's a backlog on vinyl, especially.
Yeah.
So hopefully this summer, but we never know. Could be a bit later. Don't know.
Well, look again. Enjoy yourselves tonight. Best of luck. Just enjoy the event and make sure you give it your all, boys.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
That's it.
Good luck. No matter. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Pleasure. So Mark here from Rock and Load, and we are joined by two of the gents of Dynasty. So Ben and Max, gentlemen, how do we describe your band first and foremost?
Well, I would describe our band as classic rock and roll. Yes, he said it.
Rock and roll.
Took the words out of my mouth.
A bit of the rock and the roll.
That's it. A bit of everything. Yeah, we take a lot of inspiration from bands like AC/DC and Judas Priest, things like that. Classic, rock, more sort of late 70s, early 80s Priest.
As you'll see on stage.
A bit of Saxon and that would be what we would go for. But I think we encompass a wee bit of the Sunset Strip kind of persona on stage. We like to be a bit flamboyant and loud and try and have a wee bit of crack with the crowd and stuff. So yeah,
a bit of a shock to the system. Seeing this for the first time, I remember in the heats, it was like, because I again didn't know the name, didn't know you guys, didn't know what to expect, and then it was like the polar opposite of what I thought was going to happen.
What did you expect?
I don't know. I suppose maybe I was expecting just straightforward rock thrash or something out there, and then all of a sudden it really was, as I say, Sunset Strip.
It's groovy.
Yeah,
bit of groove.
And classic rock. And again, you guys are all quite young, not what you put sort of two and two together and expect to find. So, what's the history of the band? How long have we been together?
Well, this is interesting.
Well, he's only just joined the band there a couple of months ago. We started in sort of 2020, and then COVID hit, so we couldn't get. It's just as everybody, couldn't get going. But we started to sort of establish ourselves this year and just kick on. New basis and all. It lays the foundation. We've been together for a couple of years, but it's only starting to now. Post COVID, things are starting to open again, and it's better for us now.
And from the offset, then, was that the vision? Was the classic rock sort of Sunset Strip, Saxon?
Yeah, I mean, well. I'm one of the founding members. Obviously, Max just, as I said, just joined there. But
founding member, best member.
It's always been the thesis, sort of, classic rock, and I know we kind of look sometimes. We get up on stage, look like we're in Halloween dress or something, like someone said, But we'd like to just have a good time, classic rock, and that's our main inspiration. So that's what we're trying to put forward.
And so you're saying, like, obviously, just formed during pandemic, pre-pandemic.
I couldn't really put a definitive marker on it, but sort of 2020,
so that really obviously just puts a real blow to it, because obviously then you can't get together, you can't really get that sort of thing going. So what did you do with your time over the pandemic? What were you writing songs?
So mainly writing, and it's hard to chop and change things, and you're trying to send people riffs and things like that, or lyrics, and it's hard to gel it together, but it took its time, but we're starting to get the ball rolling now.
And were you guys always thinking in your head original material, or were you?
Yeah, I mean we
the thing with covers.
Yeah, we can't do that.
We can't do covers.
We've tried and thought.
We can't do it.
It doesn't sound right or something, But tonight we'll only be playing our own songs, and that's why I've been the other hits, So just original material,
And what was I going to say? I fucking lost my train of thought. How have you found the competition? Obviously, your first go at it. Metal the Masses. What has the experience been like for you guys? Obviously, coming into it with your genre, and then obviously just the likes of other bands.
I didn't know what to expect because of obviously the metal stuff. But like the first heat that we played, it was my first time playing a gig.
Oh, was that okay?
Yeah, as well.
which was an experience.
That's right. That was your first gig with us as well.
It was fucking, it was good. But all the bands we've met as well have been fucking amazing.
Good healthy
Lovely.
community. Like
It's a good, it's a nice wee unity about everybody, and it's very supportive for each other, and it's a nice group. It's tightly knit.
It's not like it's a competition, but it doesn't feel like people are trying to be
I know
competitive.
it's not nasty or anything. It's everyone but you were great, and it's very it's just as you say, a nice community.
And what do you make of the other bands as far as performances? Like, the competition is quite strong, isn't it?
Yeah. I think all the bands are great. Sitting watching, it's really diverse.
It is. Yeah,
it's really diverse, which is great.
See, that's in my opinion. I thought because I think we're quite different from, say, the heavy metal bands that are playing, or the thrash or whatever. We thought maybe we didn't have a chance as much as the others, but maybe because we are different, it sets us apart from and things like that. But watching some of the other bands, like really heavy, but they're so tight. How fast they're playing, but they're so organised and structured. They're very intelligent players.
I'm sort of wondering whether the time off in the pandemic has helped that, maybe with bands just really getting a chance to work on that sort of stuff. Because if you are doing your day job, you're doing your occasional gigging in between. At least you can focus on the last couple of years and really tighten up as a musician,
Oh yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, I don't have to play anything. I just go up there and
lucky bastard doesn't have to haul all the stuff in.
When did you start singing?
I just yell, mate, to be honest. I
don't even know.
No, I just bedroom sort of crap. I was just.
Is this your first band?
I used to play in loose bands, but there weren't ever anything official, playing gigs around Belfast or anything like that. But
doing vocals again?
But I can't play anything, mate. I just like I am the first clue about music, to be honest with you. Just get up there and have a laugh, and that's it.
And what way does the songwriting work with you guys? How do you like to work with songwriting?
It's very, very different at times. It's
a lot of
one of our lead. Sorry, go ahead.
It's a lot of lead guitarists bringing in riffs, and then him and the rhythm guitarist working on it, and then I'll do something slightly different to sort of harmonise it.
Do it together in rehearsal rooms? Is that how you just hammer it out, really?
I would usually write all the lyrics, but sometimes there's a weird chemistry with the lead guitarist Aaron. We just he'll have a riff and I'll have it, and it just clicks. Or even I've been writing songs for a long time, but never put them out or anything like that. But I always have something. If he has a riff, it's just so it's quite odd, but it always just seems to line up.
And music-wise, have you guys put anything out yet?
We actually haven't released any material yet. We are planning to release. We were thinking of an EP. We're not too sure yet. Maybe singles, but we're trying to dip our foot into after this. But this is what we've been focused on just recently. So we don't want to have something to work on recording and this. So we're trying to just be good for this.
And for your set, do you have much material to choose from then between the sets? Or have you got a limited sort of?
We're usually playing the same sort of songs.
Replacing a couple.
We changed it up a wee bit, but not drastically. We're trying to, because we haven't released anything yet. We want people who are seeing us to become a bit familiar with what we're playing live.
Building up crowd favourites.
I had someone come to us at the Lassie saying, I'm starting to recognise the lyrics, and I'm like, oh well, brilliant. I really appreciate that.
You're signing women's breasts and all that stuff now, are you?
All the time.
Probably old men instead, These,
That says Mike made the second down there, I can imagine. Well, look, guys, thanks for your time tonight. Best of luck. Obviously, you are quite diverse compared to the rest of the lineup, but we'll have to wait and see how Mr. Hall views the performance.
Thank you very much.
So again, look, guys, Blurred. Fuck's sake! Oh Jesus!
He's adding that out.
Dynasty.
That's it.
Okay, thanks again, guys.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy. Best of luck tonight, guys.
Take care.
Okay, guys. Mark here from Rock and Load. This evening we're joined by the dudes from Survivalist. How you all keeping?
All good, Mark. How are you?
Very good.
Fucking chicken Oriental tonight. This is mental in there, isn't it?
Chocolate blocks.
Yeah.
There's going to be people turned away from that. There's far too inside near at capacity now.
Yeah, the final is usually popular, but that is a bit crazy,
isn't it? Which is great to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
First time in the finals. Well, technically not, but we've only ever done Metal of the Masses once. We entered way back in 2020.
Because it kicks off generally, isn't it, January? So you guys probably would have had 2-3 months of it, and then
we got carried over. And then we got carried into the semi-finals for this year. and then we made it to the finals. That's how we got here.
And like, when did you guys form? It was just before
2019. So we formed sort of end of summertime 2019. At that point, we just started writing. We had an idea of the sound that we wanted. We had an idea of the riffs that we wanted to use. All these guys have done music before. Tom and Stu from Golden Day, Ben from every band that's ever been in Belfast.
musical prostitutes.
So he played for Senescence. I used to be in a band with him as well. He's currently playing for us and the Skunks as well. And then Nick, his first time being in a band, and he's been absolutely smashing since he got here.
Nick's just here so that if we ever feel lonely on stage
or old, if we need to connect,
if we need to feel like he's really on our side.
I just hung around long enough, and they were like, "You can join."
That's pretty much So he
dropping the average age of the band down quite significantly.
Nick started as a fan.
Can I join you? Can I join you? Can I join you? Can I join you?
Friends with Tom, and got asked to join the band because I seen a few of his playthrough videos. And he popped up online and was like really, really high quality, really good. And, got Tom to message him and just say, "Do you want to play bass for a band?" He went out and bought all the kit, which is funny because that's exactly what happened with our first bassist as well. He was a guitarist.
There seems to be a shortage of good bass players out there. I've been talking to a lot of bands recently, and guys are literally giving up guitar to take up bass to play in bands. So like, what's happening with the bass players? What's happening?
I just think, well, for me anyway, whenever I was a kid, I had mad aspirations of just being this lead guitarist. I think being a guitarist is just sexier, isn't it? Like
it's a fact. It's a fact.
But just playing guitar.
No
that's
comment.
how you'll learn. That's how, I don't know, whoever will show you. Like my dad leaves the guitar in my room when I'm 12 years old, and then since then hasn't left. You know, that's just how it starts. And then I think for metalcore at least, it's a good idea being a guitarist first. Is having that technicality. You can bring it over to the bass quite easily. You know,
unless you're absolutely dedicated and go down to jazz route or something.
If you're just playing your standard blues or rock, it's a different technique and all.
That's the thing. I have a lot of friends who would be like jazz bassists, blues bassists, who really follow that line of music. Whereas I don't really know a lot of people who want to play metal bass. So that's why it was an issue for us trying to find somebody. But we got a replacement, and he came in, he smashed it. He's been doing well since.
And we love him.
And we love him.
We do, Nick. I promise.
He's a keeper.
He's a keeper.
So guys, like, tell me, anybody who hasn't discovered the band, what's the genre? How do you like to describe yourselves?
There's a bit of everything. So we've got there's some groove metal there, metalcore, any of the cores you can really use. Like there's some deathcore sounds in there. There's some thrash even. There's gent. I mean groove, and it's pretty much just real groovy metalcore with some added
spice. Where's influences coming from?
Oh my goodness.
For me, my biggest influences would be Pantera, Killswitch, As I Lay Dying, All That Remains, the golden era of metalcore. Then like groove metal bands like Pantera, but I listen to sort of everything from black metal to classical music, like so.
Me, I'm gonna have to say a lot of While She Sleeps, and a lot of Wage War as well. Those are the only two bands at the moment I'm really hooked on. But all the classic stuff as well, like Black Sabbath, As I Lay Dying, and Pantera and all. You know, it's all great to me.
I think we all share similar music taste, but
which is good.
Listen to everything.
Whitechapel,
I'm a big prog guy. Like I love my prog metal and stuff like that. Symphony X and Dream Theater and things like that. You know,
were you at the Dream Theater gig?
Oh yeah.
And, like there's a lot of emotional men there, so there was. I just like guys crying at the stand up, like I bawling their eyes out.
I've seen
there's a lot of emotional men here.
I've seen them before. I've seen them in Glasgow before Mike Portnoy left, so it was cool seeing Mike Mangini playing on the drums. You know, so
it's an interesting show. Different type of experience. That band, so technical, maybe not the most. On stage, like the presence is maybe a little bit lacking because they are so technical.
That's it. You can fall into two types of bands. I was thinking about this the other night. So you can be the band that can play so technical that you guys have no stage presence because you have to focus on everything you're playing. Or you can kind of go somewhere in between where you can play stuff that is really technical, have those breaks where you do technical stuff, but also have a lot of free time where you can go hard, and which is what we wanted to try and find, that balance where we weren't getting up on stage and hitting 3 chords, but at the same time we weren't going on stage and not looking at the crowd, not speaking to the crowd, and not getting the crowd involved, because there's nothing worse than going to a gig and you've got a lead singer who won't look you in the eyes and won't get you involved in the stage.
It doesn't connect with the audience.
Plus we're only a small band as well, so we don't have production behind us or light show or anything like that. Because like Meshuggah, for instance, if you've ever seen them live, it's all about the lights. Because the guys are just so focused on what they're playing. If they didn't have a good light show or good production or anything, it'd be a bit of a boring watch.
Absolutely, like lights, smokes, pyrotechnics, stuff like that is what makes those bands big.
Yeah.
When we don't have that behind us, we need to get our energy from elsewhere, which is the people who are in front of us.
Yes, absolutely.
The crowd are the biggest part of our show, because if there's no crowd in front of us, it's hard for us to play. That's where we bounce off of. I feed off his energy. Tom goes nuts. Nick goes nuts. You are just the sturdiest rhythm player going, and it's just with that synchronicity between those three guys and Ben's drums backing it, it makes it a very easy job for me to front this band.
And it's a fun job.
It's a very fun, absolutely.
The best sort of 30 minutes, 45 minutes of your lives on stage. Just going nuts. And how have you found the competition this year? Like, obviously, start with the 2020 experience, back into it again with the 2022, 2 years later. But
I think everybody's just more hungry. So is everybody putting more of themselves into it? You know, it's not that it's caught me off guard, but I'm just like, oh dear.
Everybody's kind of up their game over 2 years. It's like, what else are you doing?
Yeah, they've been locked in a house practicing and playing. And
You've been walking your dog 3 times a day and playing guitar for 8 of those hours. Like,
you can't slack. You can't.
No.
The competition actually is very strong this year. Like right across all the heats. You know, in other years you would have said, you can see a couple of bands maybe just aren't really at the level yet. But this year everybody's quite strong.
A lot of talent.
A lot of established bands that have been gigging for a couple of years anyway before lockdown. So the guys have only got better as well. Where, like you were saying in the past, we maybe got some newer or younger bands coming through that maybe didn't have the experience or weren't gig smart or so much by then. But this year it seems like everybody's been really professional, really tight.
And you guys just recently dropped an album. Congratulations on that. Very strong. Very strong. And signed up with Eric Digital Distribution as well. So like you guys must be really chuffed at the progress.
We're doing really well, and this competition would be like the cherry on top. We'd be super happy and more than grateful if we went through and we got to play that stage in Bloodstock. But at the same time, there's so much talent up there. There's a lot of really good acts, a lot of big sounds, and those guys deserve it just as much as we do.
Absolutely,
if we don't make it through, if anything, it's just going to make us hungry. And we're just going to want to get there off our own back and just keep working hard until we get standing on that stage off our own back.
Well, that's it. And you guys were in a very tough heat with Archives, like who were another seriously powerful band who didn't make it through, and it shows the strength of the competition really that you're up against, So again, you just got to keep your head down, graft, and it'll come to you like eventually, doesn't it?
That's it. It's about putting the work in. I listened to a fella last night. I was listening to a podcast about this fella who basically talks about how to be a band, how to get to those next levels, how to escalate your band. Pretty much. One thing he said was bands get together, they write music, they put out albums and stuff. But then you ask said band or band members, like, look, we have to post once a day on Facebook, once a day on Instagram, and these guys don't want to do it because and it's those small steps that you need to take alongside putting out good content. They're going to elevate you, which is what we're trying to do. We're just trying to make sure that
there's a presence.
Pretty much that there's.
And we have Gavin to thank for that because he is an absolute genius at it. So thanks for doing that.
He's in front of his ring light, busting a move every day.
Plus he works full time.
So I'm fortunate enough that I have a job where I work from home, and it's not very labour intensive, and as long as my clients are looked after, then it's fine.
He works very hard.
So whatever, as long as my clients are looked after, I have a bit of spare time, and that spare time from 8:30 to 5 o'clock Monday to Friday is entirely spent on band stuff or cleaning, so that the missus doesn't beat the shit out of me.
Well, it's great to have that balance, isn't it? That's a really tough thing, because again, it is a 24/7 sort of thing. You don't keep that momentum going, keep that energy in out there. That's it. It's quite easy to fall off the radar, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, what's next for you guys beyond Metal the Masses?
So we have a couple of gigs coming up. We have some stuff that's unannounced that I can't really talk about. We have some really good stuff coming up, and then we've got announced gigs are the 6th of July. And I think that's it, isn't it? Deer's Head, 6th of July.
England as well.
And then we're in Workington and Rotherham as well. So we're 2 nights in September in England, and then that. But there's some other stuff there that's not announced. Some pretty cool stuff that's coming. And then we have just finished the track. We're just finishing up the final touches on it now. Which is self-produced, all by this man, and he has done some serious work. It's like the tone, everything sounds incredible. It's a lot heavier, it's a lot lower. The new track has no clean vocals. It is a lot darker than anything we put out. But we're now kind of at this point where we've finished 7. 7 to us almost felt like a hurdle at the end because we had put so much time and so much setbacks because of lockdown. And our sound kind of evolved over that with having Ben and Nick join the band. So we feel like 7's not a good representation of our music sound now. So the next batch of songs that will come out are just going to be singles for a long time. We're going to work on putting out content and seeing what people's reactions are going to be. We want to hear feedback from everyone. The next song comes out, too heavy, people think it's shit. We'll move on, we'll do another song. We'll find another... The best part is that we work with a lot of diverse people, and these guys can go very soft or go hard.
It's hard to know, isn't it, again, in this modern music industry, what the right approach is. Like, is it single after single, or is it put an album out, put an EP out? And again, the digital age allows you that flexibility to mix it up. And
we're not confined by 7 anymore. You're going to see a lot more experimentation, a lot more soundscapes, a lot heavier music. Has this guy been here the whole time?
Yeah, basically, well, for about the last 5 minutes anyway.
Fair enough.
Just eating a wee Mackies.
What are you eating?
Never mind.
Keep it real, please. Welcome to Belfast.
Welcome to Belfast, everybody. So, yeah. We've got a lot of stuff planned, a lot of music, a lot of gigs, a lot more of just what we've been doing. But if people were sick of hearing our name before, as of June, they're going to be a lot more sick of it.
Well, look, that's not a bad way to be, you know? You'll be like, Ed Sheeran, for fuck's sake, we'll all be like,
Dick's putting out a single again.
Well, look, guys, thank you for the chat.
Thanks, Mark.
Best luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure you're going to nail it, but we'll absolutely see how chips will fall.
Awesome.
Best of luck, and we'll see you on the other side again. Survivalist.
And best of luck to all the rest of the bands as well. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Okay, thanks. So, Mark here from Rock and Load. This evening, I'm joined by the dudes from Hint.
Hello.
Guys, welcome to sunny Belfast.
Yeah, sunny Belfast.
Sunny Belfast, fucking shitty weather, beautiful day again in Belfast. What do we expect? So guys, tell us a little bit about the band. The Metal the Masses for myself was actually my first time discovering you guys. So tell us a little bit about the history.
Well, I think that's probably the same for most people. But yeah, Hint in some form or other has existed probably for about the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
That was when the guitarist Ian himself started writing together. And then about 2 years, just over 2 years ago then, Ian and Steve got talking. I think maybe in Matches one day.
No, it was, I was just bored and not drumming for anybody, hadn't been for a while, and I just asked if Ian wanted to just head down and have a wee jam and see what came out of it. And it turned out he already had a couple of songs that he'd been writing with Darren, so he sent me them, and I went and tried them out, and we all seemed to click by about the second or third practice. We were writing away, and we were finding writing together pretty easy. So that was.
How do you guys describe your sound? It's a different one.
That's a big thing. We don't really know.
It's kind of hard even for us to describe, but I definitely think there's elements of that sort of soundscape
ambience
type
vibe
in there. I think one thing we've been very keen is not to be pigeonholed or categorised into anything, and that's why we've got clean vocals and harmonies and screams and growls and heavy, quiet, a lot of dynamics in there.
Yeah. And so what musical influences then, who do you guys sort of listen to that sort of shapes that?
Meshuggah.
Meshuggah.
Ian is a massive Meshuggah fan.
Yeah.
Deftones,
ISIS.
Yeah.
I'd listened to a lot of Killing Joke. With Mastodon as well.
Yeah, Enemy have been listening to a lot of Vola recently as well.
Brilliant band. I was talking in Dublin with Devin. You down at the gig?
I was indeed, yeah.
I was actually blown away. Yeah, blown away by Vola.
Devin would be another one who'd be.
Devin is a massive influence as well. Yeah, obviously. I mean,
we're not all sporting our Devin t-shirts tonight.
I was going to say, I'm even prepared to buy a puzzle t-shirt, which is very divisive. Puzzle, but yeah, you can tell. I think when you look at our influences, you can definitely tell with the music.
Yeah.
Where it comes from.
Yeah. And how have you found the competition? And is this your first attempt at Metal of the Masses?
Sort of. Our first ever show was the Metal of the Masses in 2020.
Okay, right.
Heat.
Which essentially we'd been carried over, so the semi-final this year was as a result of us getting through the heats last year.
That was a crazy one because obviously it literally starts, doesn't it, in January, a couple of heats, and then fucking COVID kicked in March.
That was it. Everything shut down.
As far as I can remember, that heat was the last gig. Before, I think it was like a week later.
Yeah. For COVID. That was going to say, that was our only gig.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID, that was our first gig.
We waited 18 months. We had to go to Scotland to play our second one, because there was nothing else happening.
Yeah. But challenging time. So look, what did you do with your time then over that?
Write and start to record. So we're self-producing our first record, which is 5 5-song EP, and then the plan is to release one a month over time until they've all been released, and then put them together in the NEP.
Yeah, because I was just chatting with the guys from Survivalist there, and we're sort of talking about what is the right approach anymore, with modern music in the industry, and is it release song after song, forget about an album as such, or put out an EP, or put out an album? Nobody really knows what the right answer is anymore.
It seems like people are sort of writing the rule book themselves these days.
Yeah.
A lot of. I mean, the likes of Spirit Box.
Another band that I absolutely love Spirit Box, and that's what they did. They started out fully on the DIY ethic, and even went to the point of doing their own videos. But they released all their first 10 songs. They released them all as singles individually with videos, and then collected them together. And that's kind of the same idea. We thought these days that's a really good idea. Digital distribution as well.
Yeah, it changes things again, doesn't it? Because it's the way people absorb music now.
Yes.
Again with say the streaming services and stuff like that there. So you have to be current all the time.
Yeah, and it's also it's trying to maintain that sort of constant awareness and with the public. If you release an album, then that's it, and you're done until the next album. Whereas if you're releasing a single every month, you're constantly putting something out.
People are talking about you, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, Ian would be our sort of more social media guy.
Yeah.
We've all kind of fitted into roles in the band. Steve comes up with a lot of our concepts for videos and things that we're planning for the singles. I'm doing the producing for the record, and then again Ian's just fantastic at keeping everybody aware of us in social media.
Yeah, because it's the thing with being a modern band these days. You have to be all-encompassing, don't you? You have to be a social media guru. You have to be a musician, and then all this
so much more
businessman and everything else.
Compared to when because I think I've been playing music for about just under 30 years now, and it's so different now to when I started, definitely.
Yeah. And so when are we hoping to hear some of this music coming out?
Well, we're hoping through the summer. I think
we would have probably had something out by now, but when the likes of this came along, we tend to sort of lock ourselves into focus on
getting
these,
the set
on
right and getting it over and making sure we had it all nailed down. So, I mean, the first song essentially instrumentally is sitting there done. We just need to do the vocals and get it mixed and get it out. So, we're hoping to start the trend of getting our songs out by the summer.
Yeah.
We're keen to. We really would have liked to have had one out before now.
Yeah. Off the back, suppose even off the back of the performances here and people talking about you guys and stuff like that there. Yeah. And speaking of the set, so for playing something like this, even in the heats or tonight, how do you go about choosing what you're putting together? Because obviously you've got 30 minutes to make an impact.
Yeah. Well, at the moment it's not too bad because we don't have that many songs to choose from, and we're still building.
We've songs that are finished, but we're not happy. We wouldn't be happy to play them live yet.
Yeah.
So we're working with a bank of about 6 or 7 that we can choose from.
But Yeah, I mean, we've tried to sculpt the songs in a way as well to keep people interested and also guessing a bit.
Yeah.
You know, even if we're playing more or less the same songs that we played from the semi-final, we've changed the order up a bit. So one, it's not the same for the people.
Yeah.
Who are watching, but also
different people here as well. Anyway.
Yeah, but it just changes the dynamics a bit as well. So I think just if we can't change all the songs, let's change the order and keep it fresh, a bit fresher.
And what was your experience of the actual Metal of the Masses then? How have you found it, and how have you sort of thought about the other bands that you're competing against?
I've really enjoyed it. Yeah. Really enjoyed it.
Always late to the party.
Yo, he's made an appearance.
No, it's been really good. Metal of the Masses has been brilliant. Thoroughly enjoyed watching the other bands as well.
The standard's always really high.
I think this year more than others as well. You know, in previous years I could definitely say some bands maybe weren't ready for it.
Okay.
This year, a lot of bands have really been strong.
Yeah, I think a lot of bands we're allowed luxury as well through the pandemic to tighten things up.
Like us. Exactly, which is exactly what, you know, when we compare, even though we got through in the heat, when we compare our performance in heat compared to our semi-final, it's just so much better.
Sort of
so much
different band.
Yeah. Because you were talking about that, so like, what about the difference of, say, the pandemic time when you couldn't get together, playing on your own? Is it, obviously practicing is one thing, but playing together is a different experience, so tightening your sound up together cohesively?
I think when we couldn't get together, that was when we were bouncing a lot of ideas up. Ian and me are really lucky that we can record stuff in our houses and send it to each other, and then we can send that over to Steve, you know, so at least he can be listening to things. So we were able to get a lot of prep work done, a lot of groundwork done, so that when we could get back together in a room, we were ready, and we had a lot of stuff to churn through.
And what do you think about your sound then, the evolution of it, the past couple of years?
It hasn't evolved. Each song kind of evolves organically, but for some reason, just they all continue to sound like us.
Yeah.
But it's
not an easy thing to do, though. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe does it come with time and experience? Because they're speaking to, say, some of the younger bands, they're really it's scattered in their styles and they're maybe not as cohesive.
I think so, because we've all three of us, even before him, we've all been playing for a while. We've all been around for a few years, so I think that helps hone in what you want to do as well.
Yeah, because it's so easy to get distracted by what is trending. Just say, for example, Spirit Box, you're going, I love that sound. Yeah. Next thing you're writing a song which sounds like Spirit Box, which isn't like you know. Too easy to do. You know?
Dan and I really like Spirit Box, so that's not a bad thing.
I've said about Vola as well.
And Vola.
But no, I think we're good at, we might steal a few ideas. I think we have our sound.
If we are going to steal an idea, we at least have the decency to put it through our own filter kind of thing, so that hopefully you can't really tell. Maybe you can, but hopefully not.
There's some of the songs that you might see are like our favourite bands, like we're wearing them on our sleeves.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's happening less and less as we go on.
But we've had some strange. Sorry, Steve. We've had some strange comparisons. Yeah, I was trying to think of the right word there. Like some people said we sounded like Yob, YOB, and then some people said there's like elements of ISIS in there.
Which is alright.
Some people are saying it's Doom, which is a bit strange.
When someone said Doom, we were like,
quite a dark sound. You have a dark sound, though, so that's maybe where people sort of gravitate to.
The prog thing is really cut.
No, we always alright with prog. I can live with prog.
I can live with it, but it's just very, very odd to think of us, anybody considering us one of those sort of weird journey into the music bands.
I think prog, though, is so broad a genre now.
Can be.
You know,
absolutely.
Progressive is not what it used to mean. It's not like they're Harm whatever back in the days. You know, it's just it's a bizarre genre now, like especially the metal side of things.
And it just gets thrown into everything else.
Because the people can't maybe put it in a box and go prog, sort of progressive. Of whatever they are. You know, but what do you think about your own sound in comparison to the other bands within the competition? You guys are quite different.
I don't think there's very many bands that sound like us. Which does help us stand out a bit, because you know, if we were playing a thrash band, then we'd be up against other thrash bands. But what we do is just a bit more unique. And I think the blend of different influences we brought into it have helped it, helped it be that way. So no,
it's going to be unique because of the fact that we're all coming from so many different directions.
I don't think I've heard another band who would be directly comparable.
I don't think so either, because I've talked to guys. We all talk about after the heats, and that's probably what has been said. Is that you do have your own unique sound, which isn't comparable to any of the bands in the competitions, or even within the local music scene.
Which is
which is
great.
An organic aim from the start, really, just to craft our own being. And again, I was joking with the guys the other day. It's like, this gig's like 26 months in the making, which is just
it's crazy.
But
it is, because everybody's in the same boat. Obviously, having the last 2 years taken away from them, so you're all starting from the same sort of place, but how much preparation been put in during that time is showing maybe more than others on the stage when you play, so
I think with all bands that is the case. Again,
even the big bands. I was at Bloodstock last year, and that was the first gig for most of those bands playing. Literally walking out on stage for the first gig in 2 years for most of them. I remember talking to the girl out of Vex, and she was fucked. She was like throwing herself around the stage, just totally forgot what it was like to perform. And try and restrain yourself for the vocal work and
pace yourself.
Broken. So it's so easy to do, the enthusiasm, the adrenaline after 2 years of being off the stage. So
completely.
What do you do?
The adrenaline takes over, and that's
Well, look, guys, thanks for your time. Best of luck again tonight. It'll be really interesting to see. Again, it's up to Mr. Simon Hall tonight making the call.
It is.
No public vote, no judges. So
just gotta catch his eye and his ear.
Absolutely, and again, with that maybe unique aspect to your sound, you just might do it. So fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. So once again, boys from Hint.
Thanks very much.
Thanks,
Cheers,
man.
man.
No
Cheers.
problem. Pleasure. Thank you, guys. Thank you.